We got to be ready to govern, and we're going to turn this mess around 180 degrees. But we've got to get through this difficult valley to get to that other side. And it doesn't help when people leave early. My job is to keep this team together, to keep everybody rowing in the same direction so we can deliver and grow the majority, because our mission is to save the country. Without a Republican majority, we have no hope of doing that.
That was House Speaker Mike Johnson acknowledging the challenge his party faces as Republican dysfunction on Capitol Hill continues to drive a wave of House retirements. So far, at least 21 House Republicans have decided to leave their jobs this year, a trend that shows signs of a broader drop in morale within the GOP. So why is this happening? Some cite difficulties in passing legislation, the party's inability to govern, and growing fears of maintaining the majority in November. After Wisconsin Congressman Mike Gallagher resigns next Friday, Republicans will control 217 House seats to the Democrats' 213, meaning Republicans can only afford to lose one vote when all the members are present. Out of the 21 leaving, some have included powerful committee chairs and rising stars inside the party. At least 5 are seeking higher office, while others plan to spend more time with the family or pursue other opportunities away from Capitol Hill. And it's not just members of Congress heading for the exits, it's their staffers as well. In a new report, the Congressional Management Foundation found that the toxic rhetoric and partisanship have made half of the senior staff on the Hill consider leaving public service. The survey sums up the feeling in Washington with just 3 words, quote, Congress is broken. The nonprofit, whose stated goal is to improve lawmaker effectiveness, also found that the desire to head to the doors is higher among Democratic staff members, but also almost 6 in 10 Republican staffers said they thought about leaving because of their own party's actions. So in many ways, it feels like the wheels are falling off the bus because of this extreme partisanship. And in terms of problems getting things done, the perfect example is the border deal, the bipartisan border deal.
And you just look at the data, Michael Beschloss. Just the data shows that this is the least effective Congress in a generation. They're just not getting things done. It's calculated not to get things done because they have people in their caucus, unlike a lot of the committee chairmen and chairwomen. But you have a lot of people in that Republican caucus who are interested in gestures. They're interested in posting on TikTok what they're doing instead of working. You know, I was by almost all ratings one of the most conservative members in Congress when I was there. And every time I walked into the House floor, I took a left turn and I went and sat with Democrats. And I gained Democratic friends that I still have. And we got things done. I just talk about how radically things have changed, especially over the last 5-6 years. They've been getting worse. I mean, my friends there have told me they've been getting worse for some time. But talk about how
I think this is what Trump wants.
Monumentally bad they've gotten now that if a Republican talks to a Democrat, Donald Trump is going to tweet at them and, you know, and say they're communists.
Right. And they are all terrified. And I do not want to put you on the spot this morning, but I have to tell you, Joe, the number of times I have watched this program and wondered if under current conditions in Congress, if a young idealistic Joe Scarborough would have wanted to run for Congress in 1994 to be in the midst of all this. I don't want an answer. I'm just telling you that that question has been on my mind. And it's totally out of keeping with what James Madison and the founders wanted. They wanted everyone to duke it out. You know, this was not the British monarchy. They thought the best policy would come out of big policy fights. But at the same time, they expected negotiation. They expected compromise. They expected even friendship, just as you demonstrated, among members of the House and Senate who were from different parties, and it doesn't happen. And I cannot help but think that Donald Trump and the people around him think that they will benefit if the entire system looks broken. So if you get a border deal, that may suggest that Congress works. If you block one and it doesn't happen and the border problem gets worse, it allows Trump to say, you know, I'm running for strong leadership in a system that is not working.
Hey everyone, MSNBC has a new and improved app. You'll get real-time alerts and analysis, live blogs, in-depth essays, video highlights, and the best 2024 election coverage. Download the new MSNBC app. Here's how to do it. You tap on the App Store on your phone. You hit search on the bottom right corner. You type in MSNBC. You click on the MSNBC app. You click on Get or the cloud icon and enjoy it.